Memory items. Airbus A320. Ground proximity warning system. Call out, pull up toga. If it says pull up. Autopilot, off. Pitch, pull up. Thrust, toga. Speed brake, check retracted. Bank, wing level or adjust. When flight path safe, decrease pitch attitude. Wind speed greater than VA less and vertical positive, clean aircraft. If it says terrain, terrain or too low, terrain, adjust flight path or go around. If it says terrain ahead or obstacle ahead, adjust flight path. Stop descent. Climb and or turn as necessary based on instruments. If it says sink rate or don't sink, adjust pitch attitude and thrust to silence. If it says too low gear or too low flaps, go around. If it says glide slope, establish the aircraft on glide slope or switch off glide slope mode if below glide slope is intentional. Emergency descent. Call out, emergency descent. Both. Crew oxygen mask. Then, pilot flying wheel. Turn and pull the altitude knob. Turn and pull the heading knob. Pull the speed knob. Read FMA. If auto thrust is not engaged, thrust idle. Speed brakes, full. Announce cabin crew rapid descent 2 times. Meanwhile pilot monitoring will. Signs, on. FMA, check. When descent is established. Emergency descent to, flight level 100 or minimum en route altitude. Speed, maximum appropriate. At altitude star, announce, cabin crew rapid descent completed 2 times. Then, reduce speed. Unreliable speed ADR check procedure. Call out, unreliable speed. Autopilot, off. Flight directors, off. Auto thrust, off. Depending on the altitude you have to adjust pitch and thrust to 15 degrees toga if you are flying below the thrust reduction altitude. 10 degrees climb if you are flying between the thrust reduction altitude and flight level 100. 5 degrees climb if you are flying above the thrust reduction altitude and flight level 100. Flaps, if configuration 0 to 3 maintain. If configuration 4, select flaps 3. Speed brakes, check retracted. Landing gear, up. At or above minimum safe altitude, level off for troubleshooting. Then check the QRH pitch and thrust tables. Loss of braking. Call out, loss of braking. Pilot flying. Reverses, maximum. Brake pedals, release. Anti-skid nose wheel steering, request off. Then, pilot monitoring will switch off the anti-skid nose wheel steering system. Brake pedals, press maximum 1000 PC. If still no braking, use the parking brake with short and successive applications. Pilot monitoring has to monitor the deceleration and the brakes indicator. Stall recovery. Call out, stall, I have control. When sensed. Nose down pitch control, apply. Bank, wings leveled. When out of the stall. Thrust, increase smoothly as needed. Speed brakes, check retracted. Flight path, recover smoothly. If clean and below 20,000 feet. Select flap 1. Stall warning at liftoff. Call out, stall toga 15. Thrust, toga. Pitch attitude, 15 degrees. Bank, wings leveled. Tikers. Call out. Tikers, I have control. When traffic advisory, don't maneuver. At resolution advisory, pilot flying wheel. Autopilot, off. Flight directors, off. Maneuver responding to RA. Pilot monitoring wheel. Notify ITC, Roman 1, 2, 3, Tikers RA. When clear of conflict, pilot flying will resume navigation. Pilot monitoring will notify AITC, Roman 1, 2, 3, clear of traffic returning to flight level whatever. Wind shear. Call out, wind shear toga. If before V1, reject takeoff only if significant variations and enough runway. If after V1, thrust levers, toggle. Reaching VR, rotate. SRS orders, follow maximum full backstick. If no flight director bars, initially 17.5 degrees. Airborne, initial climb or landing. Thrust levers at toggle, set or confirm. Autopilot, if engaged, keep on. SRS orders, follow maximum full backstick. If no flight director bars, initially 17.5 degrees. Meanwhile, pilot monitoring will read wind component and speed. Attention! It is very important not to change the configuration, slats, flaps or landing gear until out of wind shear. Wind shear ahead. Before takeoff, delay takeoff or select most appropriate runway. During takeoff run, reject takeoff. Airborne, thrust levers, toggle. Autopilot, if engaged, keep on. SRS orders, follow. Landing. Go around, perform. Autopilot, if engaged, keep on.